the AWE Digital Wellness Weekly Podcast. I am Marc Ritter, joined by my co host Christian Dominique. And today we have a very special guest with us, Dr. Manish Bhardwaj. He's tuning in from Jaipur, India, and he has over 12 years of experience as a general practitioner and a guided meditation instructor. He's also the founder of the Bhardwaj Clinic in Jaipur. And today we'll be talking a lot about the similarities and perhaps alignment that you see in medicine and in the practice of meditation. Dr. Manish sees 100 to 150 patients a day, which is just an incredible number. So he really has an intricate understanding of medicine. And in this conversation, we're going to talk about what happens when a different kind of healing begins, one that really reaches the nervous system, the emotional life, and places that perhaps prescription medications cannot reach. He's treated people from addiction to terminal illness, from family disconnection, and now we're going to be talking about deep meditative states and how they touch on neuroscience. Dr. Manish, it's a pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for joining us on the podcast today.
Thank you so much for giving me this wonderful opportunity. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. So I always like to start these conversations by really understanding the origin story of how people ended up to be on the current career that they are in. And a lot of people who listening in might think that something like meditation, for those who are unfamiliar with meditation, might seem almost antithetical for a doctor to become a guided meditation instructor as well. Could you tell me, how did these two things come about in your life, and how did they come to align to bring you to where you are now?
Yeah, actually, I have been doing meditation since 2003 when I was an MBBS student, and it has become a part of my life. But when I started my practice in 2010, I see a I see a common thing amongst the people that some people they look good built, they are rich, and they are intelligent. But sometimes, because of very small issues like family issues or some financial issues, they get panic. While other side, some people even they are diagnosed as the cancer patient, but they remain calm. So when I ask those kind of people that how you can be so calm even you are means you are diagnosed as a cancer patient and some financial issues there, how you can be so cool and calm? So there is the one common answer among all these. Either they are doing daily prayer or they are connected with organizations that teach meditation. From then onwards, I thought that I should also teach meditation and I started it. And after starting this, I have seen hundreds of positive results among those people. So from now onwards, I am teaching meditation, and I really feel this thing that meditation, like medicine is not medicine is having its limitation, but not meditation.
Great. Thanks again for joining. And a dear friend now, we've met a few times. And, thank you for joining the podcast. What your work, what you're doing in the medicine and in the meditation is incredible. I do like the fact that you mentioned that, you're a doctor, medicine is great. You're seeing 100 plus patients and it still has limitations, right? And you're seeing that people are happier, and again, we're not discounting clinical or medical practice. We're saying that there's more potential with things
Yeah.
beyond that, right? So and you see people happy. I want to make that clear for the audience that Dr. Manish said family and financial problems are small problems, right? So he said it
Yeah.
calmly, but to most people, financial problem is anxiety, it's crazy. Family problem is relationship problem is, oh my god, it's finished, or what am I going to do today, or right? And you talk the opposite, people with cancer diagnostic, with problems can say, hey, I can live calmly, happily, compassionately. And tell us a bit more about how that comes about. I mean, we try to do this as well as with our resets and our program and our philosophy of well-being. And you have some concrete results. You mentioned so much positive result. Tell us about how that transformation came about. That most people who are happy or having those types of deeper states, they're taking care of their mental health, not just by taking drugs or medication, by actually taking the time to not just self improvement either, but to have, and you mentioned group and community that teach, that guide, that work together. We know that community is important. You might read a book and try to do things alone, but when you have people with wisdom and care that's around, I think that's a plus that we all can agree and advance the world with, right?
Yeah, yeah, definitely, definitely.
So yeah, tell us a bit about the specific outcomes that you see from your groups of meditation.
Uh, uh, what specific in group meditation?
Yeah, some positive outcomes, their
Yeah,
physical and mental health, their relationship health.
uh, I will I will give you the example that recently occurs 4 months uh, before. So you will realize that how meditation is powerful. One child around 15-year-old, he was the last stage cancer patient. So their parents come to know that I teach meditation for the last stage cancer patients, and they asked me that can you give a session for my child. So I gave that 15-minute demo session for that child. After 15 days, his mother called me and she told that, sir, my son is in ICU. He is in ICU, and he is very restless and he is in very depressed mode. But especially he asked me that can you call the doctor, and once again I want to take that session. And then over phone again I gave that session to that boy. And after 1 month, when that lady came to me and she told that, sir, that boy had passed away 10 days after you gave that session. And he was so restless, so depressed before that session. But after your session, till his last breath, there was the smile on his face. There was no regret of the life. And she deeply thanks me a lot. And the one thing I cannot forget, the last line that she said to me, that I wished if they had met me few months before. So there could be some miracle could happen. So what is my point? I am not saying that I can cure the cancer or meditation can cure the cancer. But you can see the strength, the power of meditation. Even the boy is in ICU on last stage cancer patient, but there was a smile till his last breath. So that is the power of meditation. And there is a lot of huge examples. Means,
Well, thank you so much for sharing that example. And you know, in this case, death is part of life and doesn't have to be tragic, and cancer is part of life, and illness is part of life, and medicine can help. But having this presence, this purpose, this compassion, this smile that's contagious, to you, to your family, I think is overlooked in terms of health outcome, right? So is that person sick, dying, dead, needs this, or is that person actually fully alive every minute that they are there? And that's what
yeah,
those types of practice can do. I do want to kind of remember the story. 15-year-old going to die, and then 15-minute meditation for 15 days, but didn't get the best subject, and then a phone call, right? So doesn't have to even be face to face. probably better face to face, but we
yeah,
can do this virtually. We can do this with a phone call. It's really
yeah,
putting your mind. Meditation is about training your mind, reframing your mind, practicing, and the outcome of spending the rest 10 days or the next 10 years of your life happier
yeah,
is great, or 1 day or 10 minutes, but just
yeah,
time be actually we will talk about some studies that talks about how meditation changed the perception of time. But one of the things that I also write in my books about happiness is that people deny that they're going to die, so they're anxious and they're fearful. If they were realizing that they're going to die, yes, they could still be anxious and fearful, but maybe they could be more in the present moment and realizing that we need to focus on the now. We need to have appreciation for the things around us, the people, the material things, the immaterial things, and meditation practice adjacent allow all this to happen in a very simple way, talking to someone on the phone, right? You're
yeah.
not
It's very
the
simple
doctor
way.
there fixing his brain or his body. You're just talking to someone on the phone. And we do have at the digital reset, which is also audio meditation. And we've seen similar stories of impact saying, wow, Christian, I listened to those again, 5 minutes, 15 minutes, 25 minutes audio guidance, and people are
Yeah,
saying, I'm happier, people around me are happier. Someone just mentioned that he had very tragic things in his family. There was grief. There was a young child, that 6-year-old person that
yeah,
passed away, and still could have this positive outlook. And those are the things that we wish that, especially for children, for schools, for parents, that, as you mentioned,
yeah,
could I have learned this a few months before, or could I have learned this a few years before? Because we're not
yeah,
teaching this in school. We're not teaching meditation in school.
yeah, yeah.
We used
Of
to, and
course.
in British Columbia, in Canada, there was a program. Actually, one of our the head of education at A was responsible to help bring mindfulness and meditation in schools. Um, the government cut the money, cut the program. So we want citizens that are good worker, good doctors, take drugs, but do we want them happy and smiling? Perhaps not. But we're here to do that, right? So thanks for
Yeah,
being in that same team.
yeah. Thank you.
So, question for me, I think before we go on, you are in Jaipur, which is one of India's greatest cities. I think it's in Rajasthan. Can you just
Yeah.
paint a picture for us what your practice is like there? Like, what does a day in the Bhardwaj clinic actually look like?
Actually, the my morning time is around 10 morning AM to 1 PM. So I see mostly 50 to 70 patient in the morning,
Wow.
but usually evening my time is 6 to 9:30. Evening time is 6 to 9:30, and there I see almost 80 to 90%, 90% per day. So it's around means minimum my OPD is 100 to 150. Sometimes it crossed to 250. It's a huge number.
Wow.
And the daytime is the my relaxing time, like 1 to 6 o'clock. That time I do meditation daily for 2 hours, 3 hours. I do daily meditation.
How is it possible? I only have like the concept in the US of when the doctor sees the patient, it usually takes like 10 minutes and they have like a clipboard right up and they're going through the whole protocol. How can you see that many patients in one day? How is that possible?
Yeah, in India it is possible. It is not like me. There's a lot of doctors. They are seeing that much patient. Like it's not like that everybody is seeing that patient, but there is some. My name is little bit popular. I don't know how it is possible, but people come to me, and mostly I am for them. I am like a family physician. So sometimes they come to me just only for taking advice or like what we have to do the next. It's not like that. I am treating all the patients. Sometimes the peoples are coming just to taking the advice what we have to do next. So
Hmm.
like this, including all, I am seeing this kind of patient.
And
Thanks
it
for
is.
sharing. I
i-
also wanted to say that I have been in Jaipur during
mm,
Holi festival in Rajasthan, so very beautiful
Okay.
city, and glad that you're
mhm.
helping a lot of people there. Um, Wanted to ask, when did you realize, as you're treating those patients, as you're giving advice, as you're part of the community, people respect you, you're a healer, you care. When did you realize that medicine maybe was not enough?
Yeah, when I started practice that, as I previously told you that the peoples they are looking, they are intelligent, they look intelligent, they are rich, they can do anything, they are good physics, but still uh, they became panic because of sort of very small issues. So I realized that meditation alone is not enough for the patient. Means how can you stop a person being panic if he is getting panic with some issues? What medicine will do? Medicine has limitations, but meditation, it's totally changed your structure and physical brain. It's totally changed meditation. So I realized that the meditation is the only way uh, for the people that they can get benefit.
How often do you try to? Because you said that in the afternoon, that's when you usually meditate. And do you, during while you're seeing the patients, do you actively try to bring in the meditation practice while you're seeing those patients during the clinical hours as well, or are those hours done separately? Do you try to keep it done
Uh,
separately?
I do this separately.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, after the clinical hour, it's not possible. So for those people, I do on the weekend, like Saturday evening, or Saturday evening is my off time, and Sunday fully my closed clinic. So I do this thing on Saturday and Sunday.
That is the guided meditation.
Yeah.
Okay, got it. And what sort of conditions have you seen? Like, just so for the audience to know, you did give that very nice example at the beginning of the podcast with the 15-year-old boy. Can you give some additional examples of conditions that you've seen treated or drastically improved just from the meditation practice?
Yeah, one of the example that the person he is around 65-year-old uh, male person. I don't want to take his name, but he was heavily addicted, drug addicted. Means there is no such drug in the world that he had not used. So means he took all kind of drugs. So they got some news from the paper. There was the news, my news that I teach meditation. It was published in the paper, newspaper. So they read this and came to me that we also want to take this experience. So same day I gave gave that person a demo session that if you like you can come further. So next day he came and he told that yeah I like it, and around 1 or 1.5 months I gave that session to that person, and he is absolutely all right till now. It's around 8 years before. And one more, my first uh, first person who was my patient, he was having some breathing problem. So doctor told me that you have to purchase CPAP. There is the sleep apnea, means
Yeah.
you are not able to take breathe for, means there is a missing of the breath. So doctor told him that you have to buy CPAP because he was good build, not good build. He was fatty.
Yeah.
So doctor told
He's
that
fat.
you have to buy CPAP. No, he's around, more than 100 kg,
Yeah, yeah.
110 or 120.
Just for
So
context,
he
I
was
have sleep
having this.
apnea as well. So, like, I've been recommended a CPAP, and I don't consider myself fat. So, a lot of people can suffer from sleep apnea.
Yeah, yeah, a lot of people can suffer. So I gave him that session. This it was only for 10 minutes, and till now he's doing good.
Hmm.
He's not taking any CPAP. This
Great.
is the one sitting that.
How is that possible that meditation done while awake and conscious can affect unconscious sleep?
Meditation.
Well, you said that it helped the patient with sleep apnea, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. How is it that something done while you are awake and conscious, meditating, you're awake? How can this affect the unconscious while you're asleep? How is that possible?
There is a lot of studies that have done on meditation. So meditation definitely it's going to change your anatomical and your physiological brain. So my meditation I experienced them for very first day the deepest level of the meditation. They can feel the deepest level of the meditation very first day.
Wow.
So I
And
am not sure that how it is doing now, but that is the response of the people.
we
Mhm.
will get into the science for the rest of the audience. We have looked at a few articles, and of course, Dr. Manish knows some of the science, some of the brain and physiological aspect of what meditation can do, different types of meditation. I wanted to, look at something specific when you mentioned, and I think you're a proponent that you hear of people doing meditation every day, or maybe monks, um, and you were saying that it is different to have a guided meditation, right? What do you think is better, to have someone else's voice, someone helping you, guiding you through this meditation? What's the difference, and what's the real advantage that people might miss if they're trying to self meditate? Maybe they're getting some positive or neutral or negative um, results. What do you think the guided part is important?
It is very simple that you need an instructor or a teacher in every field. Like, if you are learning boxing, judo, karate, swimming, anything, you need a teacher. You need an instructor who know the subject very well. If you are doing practice by your own, you even don't know that how meditation feel like, how it look like, and what is the feeling comes when you do meditation. There is no one with whom you can share. So how you will reach to that level if you don't have any teacher? Definitely you need a instructor, a teacher who knows the subject very well. If I am doing practice last 20 years, definitely I am little bit at higher position from the person who is doing the same day meditation on first day. So my experience will let you uh, feel that the depth of, like my website I told that it's compare like flight inspector. Look, I don't know how to fly a plane, but a experienced pilot come to me and he say that, come on, you sit co-pilot seat. Whatever I will tell you, you do. You don't have to know anything. You just do whatever I say. I can fly the plane, but it's not meaning like that the next day I can fly the plane alone. It will take 5 years for me to understand the subject. But why I have done this thing? Because the instructor was with me. The instructor and teacher work is to make you confident that yes, you can also do that thing. That's it.
I think that's a great example, and I've actually flown a plane. I'm not a pilot, but I've went with an instructor twice, and now with as a co-pilot, I can fly for
Yeah.
up to 20 minutes. but I will not invite anyone for me to fly the plane today, right? So that's exactly what we're talking about. And my son, who's 16, is going to be taking driver's license, and I would not let him drive either without an instructor. So I think it's a very good analogy, and we are here to help people with the experience, with the science, the neuroscience, with the lived
Yeah,
experience and the stories, and we're trying to do the same thing. And I think and your mission is very aligned, that we want to bring more of those experience to the world, because people don't know how to do it, and they need help,
yeah,
they need guidance, and we want to help them.
definitely.
We know that less than 10% of people, at least here, meditate regularly. um, and there are some people that are already there and have it their level of success again, but we want to reach the other 90% and saying, hey, let's make it
Yeah,
low barrier. Just listen to an audio, like listen to a phone call, you'll feel better. Listen to a reset at Odd Digital Wellness, and that's very effective to kind of get them through the door. And yeah, it doesn't mean that you've done it once. There's great cases that you do it once and it changes you already. And if not,
yeah,
start to get more guidance as a practice. And tell us a little bit more about, you talked about individual meditation. Tell us about group meditation and how that's a little bit different and fun as well.
yeah. Actually, I prefer group meditation rather than one-on-one session because my aim is to spread the awareness regarding meditation. So if I am taking session for the one person or I am taking session for the 1,000 people, for me it will take only half an hour. So if I am taking one-on-one session, it will take months to reach that number of patients, the number of people. But if you'll give me uh, uh, 1,000 people at a time, so I can means reach thousands of people within a month. So I always prefer a group guided meditation session. But still, if someone want individual session, then I do that also. But group meditation is good. Like you are going to visit any place alone or you are going in group. So group always enjoy that. They
Th-
talk to each other. Yeah.
Thanks for that. I think
Group
we're again very aligned on this. We have started now for 9 months, I believe, to do live meditation every week. I'm doing it this 25 minutes, and people can come as a group and experience live group meditation. We do have the audio recordings, but you get to have that live experience and share with others. I think it's very, very powerful. And the other thing I always encourage the people I coach or listening to the resets is, if you want, you can listening to alone, but even better, don't put it on your earphone. Listen to it with someone that you care. Listen to it to a
yeah,
friend, with a colleague, with your family.
yeah, that's it.
All of you listen together, that audio recording, but even it can spread the love more, and you can see other people's reaction, energy, positivity come true. So thanks for that distinction. I think we're also very keen on having communities and not individual, because meditation can seem very individualistic when you think about it, but it
Yeah,
is much better when you share it.
yeah,
So perhaps one of the modalities of doing a group meditation is not just in person, but you do offer these group meditations remotely over video call and WhatsApp, correct?
yeah,
So, um, how much of our, this is a lot of how people are connecting nowadays. Um, do you see a difference in, the effectiveness when it's done via the internet? Does it work the same way? What does it feel like to guide someone into a deep meditative state through the screen?
yeah. There is no difference with live or phone call. There is absolutely no difference, even not for 1%, because we are face to face now. So what is the difference? Little bit difference come just 1 or 2%. Because why I designed this course, see, this is the fast moving world. We don't have time. Like nobody has that much time that you can spend days or months to learn something. You cannot spend that time. Everybody is busy. Until unless that is not very necessary, nobody spend that much time like 10 days, 20 days. It is not possible. So the best way to spread the awareness is the this like video calls and remote. It's almost as effective as physically you are present. Just hardly 10 or 2 to 3% difference will come, like otherwise no difference at all.
Well, I have to say that, it's not nobody. There is Mark, who's done a 10-day meditation retreat, and Chris in our team as well that's done 10 days, but maybe they're nobodies as well. But not everyone can go to that length. So it's
Yeah,
very
no.
good to apply it to the modern world, and to be able to be flexible and reach more people to make them happier in the shorter amount of time. So thank you for creating those course, and being able to reach more people virtually, which we also know that virtual coaching, virtual reset meditation, all those things work 99%, and sometimes they work better for different reasons, because you
Yeah.
can maybe tap, like, focus on the words instead of on the surrounding. So it is at least equal. So thanks for confirming that. We agree.
And you are comfortable with your place. That is the more important thing. You are comfortable with your room. You are sitting in your house. And you are not going to travel anywhere. They see lot of the saving of the money also, that time also. It also save our time and money.
For sure, it saves a lot of time and money, and I think makes a lot more accessible for larger numbers of people. In my own experience, however, no, I've done online group meditations in person. I still do think there is an element missing when you do it online. You can really feel the energy of the people around you just being in a group setting, and you do, while being online for me personally has been helpful, I feel like when in the group setting, you do physically get some of that energy. I don't know what it is, but you feel a difference being physically in a group with other people than just being online, which is also helpful, but it's different, I would say.
Yeah.
It just from my own experience.
Yeah, I think both are valid in their different experiences. I've also done a lot of both. And I think, Dr. Medici, you have a very interesting um, point, which is being in your own element actually allows you to keep that meditative state in your own element, right? So when you go to a meditation center or you go to a retreat for 10 days, you're in that state for that. But when you return, you have this disconnect, right? But when you're doing it in your own space, right,
Yeah.
there is something to that effect that's important. And I remember a beautiful meditation that I was doing during COVID online, mindfulness, self-compassion course and meditation. And there was an intensive day where there was 6 meditations in a row. And I was doing this with my son, which was, I think, 12 years old at that time. And one of the meditation was to actually go outside and to see awe and wonder in the world. And because it was at home and then in our neighborhood, and the feeling of being in the meditative states in your own space, I think really affects how you see and live your day-to-day life as well. So
Yeah.
yeah,
And
again,
but there is limitation of online session. Like I cannot take the session for 1,000 people like online.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I can take only hardly 10 to 15 and 20, like this. I can take online session. Physically, if you want 10,000, 5,000, I can give them 5,000 people at a time. But in that case, you have to present physically. It's not possible online.
I would almost think it's the opposite, though, that you'd be able to see more people if you were online. Isn't that the case? Because you're not restricted to the number of people that you could offer the meditation session to. Like, while if you were in person, you only have like so much space that you can have people meditate together in one room?
Online, because I don't have that kind of experience for that much people online.
Okay.
Hardly I have given to 50 to 60 patients, 50 to 60 people online.
So you when you say you can offer when you do it in person, you can see a lot more people. Is that because you physically can see more of them than, like, if you had a online call with 10,000 people, it would just be, the number is so staggering and there's no way to really offer that to every individual on that call, whereas in person, you can grasp, even if it's a larger number of people, you can still grasp physically that people are there.
Yeah, we can grasp. It's like that. Yes, I can.
Mhm,
Means I am confident for that. I have never done this kind of thing, but I am confident because I have joined the courses. Sometimes few of courses there was like 5,000 people at a time.
mm,
You cannot grasp all the people, but 80% of them get benefit.
mm.
80% of them.
Very high number.
So it's a good number.
Yeah, very good number. You did mention earlier, and I wanted to get into this, but I'll just do it now. So you had a patient with addictions to lots of different drugs. Um, I think in there is a tenet in Buddhist philosophy that says the source of suffering is avoidance and desire. So desiring something. And it almost seems that people are addicted to the anticipation of what something is going to feel like. That's the desire that fuels the behavior. What sort of insights have you really gained from administering meditation to people with addictions or other psychiatric conditions?
I have not done work on psychiatric patient because
Mhm,
it's really tough to handle those persons.
mhm,
But I have done work on the people those are drug addicted. I have done work over them. So what is happening, why the meditation is more beneficial than the drug, because meditation brings you close to the nature. As I gave you that example of that person, he was heavily drug addicted. He was taking drugs, but he knew that whatever he is doing, it's wrong. And when I gave him the second choice, this meditation, he readily accepted that because the meditation is more powerful than any other thing. If really once you feel, if you do the deeper level of meditation, even your whole day will look like 1 hour. So means we can't compare meditation with any other, means it's the top level. First meditation comes, all other things are below that. If really anyone can experience you that depth.
If we can go, and we'll come back to kind of the addiction and what's perhaps behind the addiction, which is normally not being able to regulate your emotions or process your trauma, whatever you want to define trauma as, which is nervous system, which is the right definition. Um, but let's go into a little bit of science if you would like. I did pull out, I think, two studies that talk about the neurobiology and the effects of different meditative state. So if we can pull those data, we can talk about this recent study. So this is November last year that talks about meditation like states of attention and time perception, right? So you talk about feeling a day in 1 hour. How is that possible? So we are, looking at this in the sphere model of consciousness. hierarchy of meditation. There's different ways. I mean, I've done a lot of research on meditation. There's different classifications, so we don't have to look at specifically that sphere model.
Mhm.
But what they're talking about is the two main, and many researchers agree that there's the open monitoring meditation, so you're open to the world, and then there's the focused attention meditation, so you're focused on either an internal state, so that could be body scan, knowing your heart, your breathing, um, thinking about your body parts, and feeling internal states, or external states, focusing on an object, focusing on a sound, focusing on things external, or open monitoring. And this kind of mentioned that um, the group participant asked to listen to their breath, right, or to external things, and there was different bodily awareness that could be done, right? So meditation is not one thing, mindfulness is not one thing. It's really broad, and then we can use all those tools like musical instrument to create this beautiful symphony. But it's very interesting to understand. People sometimes think you meditate 5 minutes, you meditate a Buddhist type of meditation, or Taoist, or and we can name many, but I've come down to the conclusion now that we can now map those in region of the brain and how they affect them. So we saw here that this affects time perception. So it's a subjective time perception, of course. Although if you talk to physicists, time do change based on some quantum physics and regular physics. The idea here is that the level of awareness um, will change and will have a different um, time perception based on these different types of meditation that was in this study. Just to emphasize that there is not one type of person, there is not one type of meditation, and if you've tried meditation before and it didn't work, it doesn't mean that there's not the good I used to say, Montreal is very famous for their craft beer, and I had some friend that would say, I don't like beer. I said, well, you haven't found the beer that you like, right? So that's a bad example because that's an addictive substance. But it's about anything that, like, please try more, try to figure out what type of meditation work for you. And sometimes it's also the context. you know One meditation might work in the morning in this situation. One type of reset or meditation might work in the evening or with your partner when you're stressed at work, in the hospital. So there's all those tools that people are not really equipped. And again, it could be like an instrument of music. It could be like different words or languages that are appropriate in different situations. So just wanted to say that, again, there is not one type of meditation, and this study talks about this in great detail. And there's more studies, and we can go on and on. We can have 2 days of talk of meditation. I love the subject. But let's go down to the next study, which talks more about the brain region specifically. So this talks also about pain. We're linking how meditation can has physiological result. It changes your brain, it changes your body. And we're looking here at the ACC, the anterior cingulate cortex, the insula, which is or the insular complex, which I define. It does many things, but I write in my books and try to explain to people that when you have this perception of is life fair? Am I being treated fairly? Is it unjust? The insular complex is actually that region of the brain that makes you feel that it's unfair, and then you might have anger, aversion, desire, um, anxiety, all those things, because it's not fair that I lost my job. It's not fair that I have family problem. It's not fair that life is like this. And
Yes.
meditation reduce that pain, physical and mental. This is a Japanese study. It's a bit older, 10 years old, but the brain hasn't changed that much in 10 years, I believe. Although a little bit with the social media, as we talk on other podcasts. But this is good social media. I'm loving this conversation. I hope the audience is as well. If you do have any questions or comment, feel free to drop them in the chat. And to continue on this study, They look at those somatosensory cortex and the thalamus, and if we can go to the next slide, it talks about fMRI studies and looking that psychological methods in several study that are again meditation like states demonstrate that meditators had lower pain sensitivity and experience analgesic effect. That means that you're not feeling pains. When you're taking painkillers, that's analgesia. When you're taking surgery, they're called anesthesiologists. So meditation is physically helping your body feel less pain and your mind feel less suffering. So why are we not teaching that again to people? I'm not
Yeah,
sure.
definitely.
So what do you think about those studies? And again, we'll put the links of the scientific articles in the caption if you want, and if you're listening on the audio version of the podcast, the last study from Japan, 2014, reduced. I don't have it here on the screen. It's reduced meditation reduced pain related neural activity in the anterior cingulate cortex by Nakata et al. In the Frontiers Psychology section of Cognition. We are actually just submitting our research in Frontier Psychology, so look out for a peer-reviewed paper soon. I'll be presenting in a neuroscience conference next week, and Mark will be also in a conference in UK. Mark, is that
Copenhagen next week.
Copenhagen? Have fun. So that's it
Mhm.
for the science segment. What do you think about this, Dr. Manish? Like evidence that it's reducing pain, that there's different types of meditation. Does that make sense to you and what you see, what you know?
Yeah, yeah, definitely. These all studies that you have shown is absolutely correct. If you are doing meditation and if you will go for EEG, your electroencephalogram, if you will go for that and if you will see the report, there is the more alpha and theta waves. If you are in deep meditation, there is a generation of the alpha and theta waves, the waves that is known for relaxation and deeper relaxation. And there is the secretion of the some hormones that is also called happy hormones like serotonin, dopamine, GABA. These all hormones are makes you happy. And there is the decrease of the cortisol. These study has done so. Definitely, I 100% agree with these studies.
Great. And we talk about happiness hormones. There's also endorphins, and endorphins are also painkillers. So that's the kind of natural body in the physiological aspect of that studies that we can correlate to. And when you talk about EEG, because this was more fMRI, we had a guest in our podcast, Mariette Tachuk, who is a specialist in neurofeedback. We also have in-house neuroscientists that are also in neurofeedback and EEG. Sorry, at AW, and we're very aware of those meditative states, how they affect both fMRI and EEG of those different waves,
Yeah,
and we can now measure with those neurofeedback devices. When I went to measure my brain waves the first time, the person looking at it said, "It seems like you have very good attention. That you must have been meditating for years." So we can see it physiologically. It's not
yeah,
in your mind, and and it's not just for that one time. When you practice that, your brain will change permanently, and those waves will be more
yeah,
regular, and you'll be happier and
more regular.
healthier. So I hope the audience is enjoying those very easy, because it takes 5, 10, 25 minutes tricks to help your brain and your body be better, but it always takes the first step to say, will I try meditation? Is meditation for me? So what do you say when people are skeptical about the benefits of meditation? They're like, wow, that's weird. Why I don't want to do meditation or mindfulness. That's
The people who feel like that, I will I want to give them a simple example. The meditation is like a prayer, and we all do prayer. It's no matter which religious we belong to, we all do prayer. You know, in every religion, everybody is doing prayer. And now you tell me what they are doing in prayer. They just close their eyes and they talk with their beloved God, and when they will share their problem that I am having this trouble, just bring me out. That is the thing. Almost 80-90% the world is doing. Everybody is doing prayer. So meditation is the scientific way to do the prayer. So what's wrong in that?
Great.
If
And I was
somebody
just
say,
looking at some studies. We have, audience in India and Europe, all over the world. But I'm here in Montreal, based in Canada. We are, like it or not, one of the most atheist places in the world. And Canada, I just saw the studies are now at 32% of non-religious, or maybe they're not
yeah,
praying, but maybe they're missing something in their life that is exactly meditation, right? So, and we can call it contemplative practices. And again, there's ways that we can talk to a God and ask things for God, or complain, or ask for forgiveness. Um, but science definitely, and there's some scientific evidence that praying has some effects, and it could be positive or negative. But praying is also could be a useful tool. But the science is very clear, as we saw, that meditation has very, very positive effect. you know we are also very evidence and science based. We know that there's some risk to meditation. There's some types of meditation that can trigger some trauma, that can have some risk. We know about that, and we know which meditation and which person um, to deliver and how. And we always suggest in our reset, in what we do, the safety protocols, which is, if you feel unsafe during this meditation, stop, breathe, right? So we all know this, and the risk is so low, and the benefits, as we saw, is so high, right?
yeah, that's why I told that we need instructor or a teacher for at least for initial days.
Hmm.
Mm.
Otherwise, the that you told that might be some risk can happen, but if you are doing by your own practice, so
There's more
this
risk.
thing can happen. Yeah, this thing can happen in any subject. If you are learning karate by your own, then also you can get this. If you are doing gym, then also you can get some back pain, neck pain.
Yeah.
So risk is everywhere. That's why you need a teacher or instructor for initial days.
So, for someone who's watching, we're throwing around the term meditation, but perhaps there's some people who are watching who don't even know what meditation really means. Like, could you just explain what is meditation? How does one meditate? What does one do during meditation?
Um, I will give you the example. What exactly you will feel in meditation when you are in true state of meditation. In that time, you are listening the voice surrounding you. Means it's not the nap, not you are going to. Sometimes we do meditation and we go in sleep mode, and then just wake up and we'll say, "Oh, I don't know what time is exactly." But usually that time you are sleeping. But exactly how you feel that you are in meditation stage, that your eyes is closed and you are listening, surrounding all the noise. You are listening, somebody is talking, somebody, the birds are chirping, or the fan movement, or anything. You are listening all the noise, but your brain is not replying that. You are just listening. So that is the true state of meditation, when you are aware your surroundings with closed eyes, but you are not replying to that. Like if I am doing meditation and suddenly some sound came, so my mind will reply immediately. What is this noise? I am getting disturbed. So means I am not in meditative state. But when I am in true meditation state, I won't reply. My mind won't reply to that noise. My mind only listen that yes, this is the sound, but no reply. How is this sound? it's noisy, it's good, no reply at all. Means your mind is totally, uh, you won't reply anything. So that is the meditative state.
And I think there's a big difference, and you talked about it as a outcome and a state, right? And we can talk about state or trait in psychology. But I like your answer because meditation could be seen as a act or a practice, which is I will try to control my thoughts, my presence, my brain. Basically, meditation is if you my definition would be
Controlling brain.
meditation is controlling your
Yeah,
brain in
brain.
terms of attention and awareness. Um, and you can there's ways to see your thoughts, not only control them but see them and not judge them. There's many ways to meditate, as we talked about. But I really love your answer, which is the state, like, because you could be doing meditation for 10 years and not reaching that
Yeah.
state, or for 10 minutes if you do it right and reach that state, right? So I really
Yeah.
like that outcome, saying meditation is a way to control your brain, to change, to be aware, for perception, for awareness. And the goal is to reach that meditative state, which is shown in the EEG, which is shown in the fMRI. And how can
Yes.
we get to that state? Well, the answer is we need a pilot, flight instructor, a guide,
Yes.
and you're one of the best. So thanks for being there and sharing your knowledge. So I had another question, concerning awe wellness. And yeah, by the way, if you're listening, check out our website at awewellness.org. We are working with clinicians. We're working a lot with the HR department, but even more with schools. And what we're seeing at schools is that there's a lot of fast life. Children's are on their phone. Children might be seeing psychiatrists, not getting treatment, taking medication that is maybe helping, but for how long? And do they become dependent on that? Or do they take substance drugs, fentanyl crisis, right? All the issues that families are seeing all over the world. And you mentioned something that there is, like talking about youth and parents, that there's a generational gap about how you regulate those emotions. Can you tell us a bit about how you see that and how can we help bridge the gap?
There is generation gap in families, but in not all families. I have seen lot of families. They have very strong bonding, like parents and kids. They have strong bonding. So when I closely watch them, so I got one conclusion that there is something, there is something common, there is something common thing where they can talk on that topic on the table. Like either all family like to read books, either they all like to go outside, either all like to swimming, karate, gym. There is something common. That's there is the common thing that where they can talk. And if you have common interest of subject, definitely you can become good friend. If you are you don't have any means there is no topic, there is no room to talk, then there is the gap. Definitely it will come. So I think meditation is the best way for this kind of families. Those have generation. There is a if there is gap, so meditation is the best tool. Like father like to go outside, but kids don't want. So there is always there will be a gap. So you teach your family meditation, and when they do all the practice together, then they can share their experience. So I think meditation is the best way to bridge that gap.
Well,
Any common thing, any common thing, if you have common, like me and you, we can be good friend if we have something common to talk. If we have nothing, how could we be friends? So that's same thing apply to the families. There should be something common.
I really love that way, that insight. And first, I'll tell you what we see with our the youth that we're working with. They are they're not prepared. to meditate. Their parents might or might not be at whichever level. Let's not say their level, but convert or time or experience of meditation. And kids model their parents, right? And well, if you talk to a 9-year old or a 14-year old today and ask them to have even 10-minute meditation, um, I think that's 26 TikTok videos, right? So no, right? uh, but so that's the reality. But what can we do, right? So that's why we create shorter resets, and we talk specifically to the youth, and we get them engaged in their vocabulary in the way that they want to be talked to, in a way that makes sense to them, and in a way that's still beneficial. And you get all those meditative qualities in a frame that's more relatable to, let's say, a teenager or a kid in 2026. But if they're younger, I want to share also my personal story. As I said, my son was on a 6 meditation video call doing all the meditation with all adults, and people were impressed. But that's also because since 5 or 6 years old, he was doing meditation, and we were doing that as a family, right? So
Yeah.
he learned how to do that, and that was one of the things that could connect us. And he learned how to quiet his mind, and he would sometimes even make meditation for me and say, "Dad, you're stressed. I'm gonna guide you to do a
Yeah.
meditation for you," right?
So
So he was my flight
definitely
instructor,
you have good
but I
bonding.
still not let him drive my car before his license. So yeah.
Yeah, so there is a good bonding between you and your son. That is
Yeah.
the thing.
So thanks for the insight. I think that's something that we forget, and also we talked about this before. If you're doing the meditation, include your partner. Maybe you don't have children. Include your partner. Include your friend. Include your father. Include your family. It can be a very bonding experience, uh, because when it's done right. Because if you're just, again, meditating the action, the verb, the word, and maybe you're skeptical about it, maybe it's not a fun experience. But if you can get to a meditative state with your family,
Yeah,
then that's the real bonding experience, right?
yes, yeah, that is.
What are some of the challenges that you see when for people who've never meditated before, trying to encourage them to start, for example? What are some common points of objection or resistance that you see from people?
Those person who are those person those they are resist. I don't force them to learn meditation.
Mm,
I don't force even them. I will say that if you want, then I can teach you the meditation. Because we cannot, it's not like we can force to someone that come and I will teach you the meditation. But I always say one thing to my wife, and she really like that he before the session, I see attitude in some eyes, but it changed in gratitude after the session.
mm,
I
Attitude
always say
to
this thing,
gratitude. Oh, I love that.
gratitude,
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
attitude is a good word. It's part of
change
my
in gratitude.
is my
Because
framework of.
those, yeah, those who don't want to, suppose somebody conduct a group session, there's 10 to 15% of the people they don't want to do this. They say
Yeah.
this is a wasting of time. Why you are doing this for us? We
Right.
don't want. But some corporate uh, do mandatory, like you all have to join. So
So
some of them, I think,
my thing, I think there's, and we won't get too political, something in the U.S. about having a mandatory draft coming, or something like that. I think we should mandatory draft people, and drag them, and force them to meditate. No, I'm joking, but I do get
Mhm.
the idea that just being open to it, right? So like it's more of an invitation, and you let people come in. And again, I was just going to say that, like, attitude per se, like we use the word attitude as like a negative, confrontational attitude, skeptical attitude,
yeah,
but there could be positive attitudes as well.
yeah,
But
positive.
I like the negative attitude to gratitude or appreciation, and appreciation,
Yes,
and seeing that shift in few minutes. I've seen it as well. is quite impressive. Now, we talked before when you first mentioned like the first thing that draw you to meditation is that some people are just complaining, blaming, and seeing life situations as humongous problems, right? Difficulty as insurmountable, as I'm gonna quit, I'm gonna, some people have even suicidal ideation, or harm themselves or harm others. And everything is so intense and negative, right? And we know there's the negativity bias, and the brain is also trying to protect you. But tell us more about how you see that shift in getting to be calmer and lessening the mental burden that you have to carry every day, right? So it's like, imagine you have to carry 40 pounds every day, and you're saying no, actually you don't have to carry anything, you can walk lightly, right? So explain that process.
Yeah, actually, we all know that ups and downs come in our life because life is not same. It's continuously changing. Life is not always same. You see, 10 years before you are something, now you are something, and after 10 years you are going to be something. So once you realize that life is just moving ahead and ups and downs come. So when you see a problem as a situation, like if you see a problem as a situation, your entirely perspective will change for that because we all know situation can change anytime. It will change within a minute, it will change in 1 hour, or it will change in 1 day. But problem, if you will carry this word in your brain, that problem, so there is lot of people, they have problem from childhood and they became 70-year-old, still they are having problem. So that all mindset is to seeing the thing in a different way. And I would like to share one beautiful example for this. Have you seen movie Die Another Day?
Yeah.
James
I,
Bond movie.
I have, and before
The
you share that example, I just wanted to kind of double down on the idea of life or this or there is a problem, right? So when I was younger and a scientist, there was like this idea of there is no problem, there's only solutions, right? But I think that's even inadequate. My parents are originally from the Caribbeans, and I was there a couple of years back, in a different island, and I still have in my house this kind of memento that says "pas ni problème," and that's Creole. That means there is no problem, right? So it's not even that there is
yeah.
the solution. There is just no problem if you decide to see it that way. And I remind myself all the time. And guess what? I'm happier. I'm healthier. And apparently, my brain waves are good. Apparently, I don't know for how long because time change and things, as we know. But please tell us the story about Die Another Day. Go ahead.
So Die Another Day movie. Have you seen that movie? The James Bond movie. The opening scene when Bond was caught and kept in a jail, and he's being tortured. That time you will see that scene again. And that time when he was being tortured, he was getting weaker by physically, but in that scene, he is doing meditation. You see that scene, he is being tortured, but he is doing meditation. So this shows the power of meditation. Means how worst scenario in that movie that he is in jail, getting daily torture. He don't know his future, what will happen next. He will die in the jail, or even it's a movie, but movie is the face of this society.
Thanks for sharing, and that goes exactly into the second study I brought, which is meditation can make you feel reduce pain, reduce suffering, right? So even as you mentioned, it's fictional, but it comes from real science, and
Yeah,
people might like movies more than meditation, but meditation is maybe as good as movie, maybe better. I don't know, depend on the movie, depend on the meditation. But thanks for the fictional parallel.
yeah,
So,
So
in some of life's most difficult situations, meditation can be a tool to basically overcome those challenges, correct?
Yeah.
So we talked about the parent child generation gap. I know that you care a lot, like us at all, about children. Tell us more about how you can use your tools, your wisdom to help the developing brain, which is a child, but adults too are developing or deteriorating their brain, perhaps. But how does that critical time in a child's life, how can you empower them with all your knowledge and wisdom?
See, what is the beauty of meditation is it always bring you close to the nature. As you are doing meditation, you always feel what you are feeling that I want to go to the mountain, I want to do meditation there, I want to be the riverside and doing campaign and I'm doing meditation for 3 to 4 hours. I want to be in the jungle, or you like rain, you like snowfall, you like wind, the birds chapels. You know, if you are doing meditation, you like all these things. You will always your mind always think about that. I want to see the mountains, I want to see the river, I want to see the lake, I just
So
want to sit quiet.
I
So
I
what
I think that's great, but I'm seeing a lot of kids that want to play roadblocks that are on Fortnite, that are perhaps not going outside, that are not in
yeah,
nature. We're seeing less and less kids going even outside to play with their neighbors, to go to the park, to go swim. How can we
same
help
here.
them? And I think, well,
Yeah,
we know the science shows that that's important to be outside, to play outside. So how can meditation help change that mind?
yeah, that's why I want to come my point. See, what is the problem? Even it's in India or Canada, the kids, they want to be alone. They want to be alone in the room. Either they are happy with their gadgets, with mobile phone, with laptop, or if a small child, then he's watching TV. And if they go outside, they want to come back their home and just want to watch TV. They want to see their mobile. Even they are sitting near the riverside, still they are watching their phone.
Yes.
So, so what is my point is meditation bring you close to the nature.
Hmm.
And once they touch that fruit, that once even the single time they touch that beauty of the meditation, meditation is, meditation also have addiction, but it's a positive addiction.
Hmm.
Like drugs, you taste one time drug. If you taste one time drug, you want that drug again and again, and you want more and more. That is the negative. But meditation is also like that. If you can uh, make children, if once you can experience them the real meditation, they will leave all the things. They start loving mountains, they want to go outside, they are familiar with kids. Only one initiate we have to do. And I designed that meditation in a way that one session, hardly 1 or 2 sessions is more than enough to develop that curiosity in those children that no, now we have to learn that meditation.
Curiosity is so important for kids and adults, and also in relationships, and also at work. Curiosity is one of the compass that I also try to help people find out, and it can be done in short time. I agree, and sometimes the risk is not trying. But when you see transformation in such a small amount of time, and you see so many lives impacted, really thank you for sharing that. We had a meditation in at awe. Our whole team had a meditation from you, and we felt some positive impacts. And we also try to incorporate in our work, right? So we're called awe because awe is those transcendent moment, which includes nature, which includes smiles, friendships, and we build that in all our meditations or resets, so that even if you're sitting at your home and maybe you remember that when you're home or at work or in the bus or in the car, you can have those moments that are close to nature, that are close to that
yeah,
meditative state, or in that meditative state that you want to, go again. And we don't like to use the word addiction at all. We think that it's just neuroscience is brain wiring, so you can rewire your brain towards an activity that's healthier for your body and your mind. And again, it can help change those addictive behavior or compulsive behavior, because you're not saying to that child or even to that adult, stop doing this. You're saying this,
yeah,
hey, come here, come take a look at this river, at this forest in your mind.
yeah, we can.
Take a look at you flying, at you appreciating the moon, the universe, the caterpillar, the flower, all those beautiful things. And then Fortnite might not be as interesting. And then that
Yeah,
28 TikTok video might be like, oh, well, let me go back to that. What was that again? Oh, I want more of that, right? So
yeah,
it's better to give positive reinforcement, to give, you might call it positive addiction, but it's more positive reinforcement, or healthy habits, we can even call them that. And then we know that some people who, and you're probably one of them, um, who's figured that out, then they need to meditate every day 15 minutes or 2 hours, or because it's so good, right? And you can change
yeah,
those behavior. And we're not saying you have to meditate for 2 hours or not, or it's not about the time. It's about, as you mentioned, getting into that state, right?
yeah,
If you do it in 10 minutes and someone else doing it in 10 hours and not getting the states, you won, or
yeah,
you're happy, right?
yeah, yeah,
So I just want to open up the floor for anyone watching who has any questions. Please feel free to comment if you have a question for Dr. Manish about the science of meditation, or how meditation works, the mechanics of it, or any question for Christian and I. Please feel free to drop it in the chat.
So I'll continue, because we've done some qualitative study on some of the material that we use for our meditations and reset. And one thing that is very constant of people who do our meditation, that's our study, but maybe yours is a bit different, but I think we are in the same path, is that people, 97% of the participant in the study felt calm and peace, right? So, and then there is some meditation that can make you feel more excited or happy and all these, and right, and it can be a mix of both, and you can be excited and peace and at peace at the same time, right? So, and peace is also good for the world, but good for the inner peace. I think Mark talked about Buddhism and suffering, the sources of suffering. The ultimate goal of Buddhism is permanent internal peace, right?
yeah,
And peace doesn't mean inaction. Contentment doesn't mean you don't do anything. It means that you're happy now, always, and nothing can shake you like a rock, right? So
yeah.
I'm not there, but I'm pretty peaceful. Um, Talk about peace and how you bring that and how you see people more peaceful with your meditation.
Yeah, as you experienced my meditation, so I used to give that kind of meditation to the person. Either first time, second time, I used to give this kind of meditation where there is the reunion of your loved ones. So once you met with your loved ones, like you see, if you are so angry and suddenly your boy, your son came to you and hug you, and suddenly your all anger is gone. So because you love him the most, he is the person to whom you love most. So in meditation, I allow to connect them with their loved ones. So once they have met with them, their full mind became cool and calm. So might be there is in meditation some people like their beloved are died or something is happened. They can never see with them those persons. So if you again met with those person in meditation, definitely you are going to be calm for forever.
I want to come back
And
to what you said at the beginning. There is no limit to meditation. Well, of course, there is a physiological limit in terms of, you cannot um, meditate yourself into flying, but in your mind there is no limit, and I think that's a very important thing to remember. And you're saying, someone is dealing with grief, they have a loved one that passed away, and you can connect with them almost as real in this meditative state, because as we know, our real state right now is also an illusion. We just believe it very strongly. So our dreams or a meditative state can be as vivid, as real, as a real experience, or even better. Maybe in real life you were with your loved one and you hated them, but in that meditative state you're good.
yeah, 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 sure. That make you cool.
So
So
thanks for sharing that insight on how to be at peace. I think it's very important to talk about the word peace. There was this basketball player who changed his name to World Peace, and I think right now with the geopolitical issues around the world, we need more peace externally and internally. So that's what we're all about, all three here on the podcast. And Mark, any insights on the peace subject or calm?
I think peace is a great word because we're not necessarily striving for happiness, because that's perhaps another form of desire, right? Wanting a certain state. And peace is also not an absence of any feelings. I think it's an observance of what is happening, and being okay with what is happening in this current moment. So I think striving for peace is perhaps the ultimate form of is what should be prescribed.
More
and you know
than
what I feel?
Yeah.
Any battle, any war, any battle, after when it finishes, everybody wants peace. Any fight end with the peace. Either husband and wife fighting, two countries are fighting, a group of people fighting, you are fighting in court, family fighting. At last, the solution is the peace. That is the final word. Everybody, at last, you fight with someone, with some country, you are fighting with 20 years, 30 years, then somebody came and say, no, now make peace. So this is the
Mhm.
final.
Mhm.
Everybody at last want peace.
Thanks for that. I think the world needs to hear that, and people need to embody and think of that in this way, that you know you might have this reaction of wanting conflict, of letting your ego as a person want to win that legal battle, want to win
Yeah,
that argument in a couple, um, a country want to win that war or those resources, that money, that job, that right. But in the end, we know that the ultimate state is peace. That like
yeah,
you can
definitely.
only write that anger, that hate, that vengeance, that I'm gonna get that other person, that other country, those people, until well, actually,
Until,
before, now that I know that I'm dying in 10 days, maybe I shouldn't spend 10 years trying to one up everyone over me, and not have my peace, and have people around me see me smile and happy, right? So thanks for those words. Um, you talked about also, um, going from looking at individual level meditation, group level, can we like envision, so let's say like 1,000 people is a bit abstract, right? But how can we perhaps create more space for meditation in people's life, not only as a one or a family or a group of 20 or and I think my suggestion, and I'd like you guys' opinion, is really to work with the education system, right? Is to
yeah,
really work with the schools and to
yeah,
get them to understand that that's part of the most important education tool
most,
set that's going to help performance, that's going to help academic um, attention, that's going to help sports, that's going to help emotional regulation, less fighting in right. We talk about peace, right? Imagine if your
Mhm.
children was productive, performing, and peaceful. Wow.
yeah,
Teachers would not want to quit. Counselors would not be going crazy. Psychologists would be meditating too because they have no more clients. Wasn't that be like a perfect world if all schools could use the knowledge that the science gives and that we can give that, and it's non-clinical, right? So you don't need a doctor
yeah,
to do that. You need someone who's wise, who knows how to guide and all those things, right? And
yeah.
wouldn't that be a good solution?
Yeah, it's a good solution, but I don't think it can be complete because there is this world is like that. If you will say that this is the best tool, everything will be solved if you do meditation. 50% of people won't do.
Agreed.
The world is like that.
And Mark, what do you think that we can do to do things that are maybe looks impossible, but that are actually the only thing that we should do?
What can we do to do things that look impossible but are the only thing that we should do?
Well, Dr. Manish says we can't go to schools and help them have peaceful, happy, purposeful children
It's a good question.
because there's
Perhaps,
resistance. We can
yeah,
think of it as resistance as we're doing it this ways. We have provincial, country, or state laws. We have this practice of teaching this curriculum.
yeah.
What are you coming with your ideas from Canada and India? What can we say to someone who would?
If they won't allow us to change, we don't want to change the curriculum, but
No, no.
perhaps put on our own events and invite them, right, to be a part of that instead.
Great. Well, yeah,
Yeah.
it change is always one step at a time. But like war, we know that the destination is peace, and
Mhm.
hopefully we're walking towards peace, purpose. We talked a lot about children and Generation X, Generation Alpha having this crisis of meaning, right? So they might have, we talked about this, less religious affiliation, or they don't believe in God or the afterlife so much. So they're asking themselves, what's my purpose, right? So
Yeah,
maybe what they're seeing in social media regularly is not really giving them the right purpose.
proper answer.
Yeah.
Right.
So in terms of what you've seen, other successful meditation practice, beside the amazing work that you do, is there any other insights, practice, best practice, things that we can collaborate, incorporate, to help the young and the old as well?
Yeah, we can put our meditation session to the corporate world because corporate sector is very stress. Those are working in corporate sector because I have done work in Fortis hospital, so I know even doctors they have so much stress, and HR department they are also in stress mode, in stress mode. So yeah, definitely this meditation can help them to at least to manage the things. the time you can manage the stress. As I gave you the previously the examples means I gave you that example of that child. Even he knew that this is the last time, but still there was a smile on his face. So if we can put this session to corporate world, definitely they are going to get benefits because I have done work with corporates, so definitely it will work.
So, Mark, have you talked to some HR directors that had some issues? Because my story is I was talking to 10,000 employee global company, and their HR department taking care of wellness of all those people
Yeah,
had a wellness guide which included a small folder document with links to YouTube videos of meditation. So, do you think that's enough? Do you think we can do better for those 10,000 employees?
And it
yeah,
definitely, yeah.
definitely.
Sorry, go on.
No, no, please, please.
I was going to say, I think it definitely needs to be more interactive, more than just YouTube videos or videos in general, training videos, that they need human support, perhaps guided meditation, similar to what Dr. Manish provides, or what all digital wellness also provide for corporate organizations and schools.
And so we're helping schools, we're helping children. What would be, and we talked about the minimal risk of some types of meditation that we're aware of. Maybe we can talk about the other risk. What's the risk of not doing this?
Yeah, opportunity cost for sure. It's. I think I always tell people, and my clients as well, I can't tell you what the benefits of meditation will be because that's something that every person has to experience for themselves. But I can tell you that it is very likely something will be different after you give it a chance and meditate for a while, right? Maybe not after the first session, maybe not after the second, but if you do it for a few weeks consistently, your experience will change. But I can't tell you how it will because it is individual and unique for every person who experiences it.
And what's your take on that, Dr. Manish?
Uh, yeah, my opinion is what that if you are learning meditation from the copy paste script or from YouTube video or from a person who never itself experienced for himself that how meditation look like, if that person is going to teach meditation for the corporate, nothing is going to be happen even after 1 month. But if a person who know the subject very well and who's self ready to explain that how it look like, what you are going to feel, that person only can give you that benefit to the corporate world. Even one session is more than enough. Hardly 1 or 2 sessions to change their entire perspective. And definitely there is like if 1,000 people are taking the session, so it's not like that 1,000 people get benefit. Only 800 or 900 will get benefit because 100 people are already distracted. They don't like this. For them, this is a burden. They don't want to experience it. But at least 800 number is quite good if we can.
So just to thank you for that. To reiterate, people are looking for relief, right? So it's relief of suffering, relief of things they don't want, aversion, um, and we see constantly that they're not really finding it, right? And you've seen kind of the whole range of the human condition, the human difficulty, which we can call problem or situation, and you've seen physical illness, deaths of children, cancer. And so, what's the biggest lesson that we should learn today for the audience? What have you learned from that?
Uh, what I have learned from them. That's the question.
Yeah, from seeing all this, from interacting with human
Yeah.
difficulty and also
Yeah.
flourishing human happiness. Yeah.
Yeah. I means there is. I have lot of experience because till now, if I will calculate, uh, I think in my whole life, I I have met around 500,000 of people. That's quite big number. So most of the people, what I feel that they are very busy with materialistic world. They are fully involved in this matter world. They are uh, means they don't want to enjoy the nature. There is a lot of things which is free from the nature. Means you cannot build a mountain. If somebody is going to build a mountain, how much money it will take? From nature, it's free, but you don't want to enjoy that. You are busy with making some small like buildings. You are busy with making buildings. The from nature side, the air is free. How much cost it will take if you purify a air? But from nature side, it's free. The nature is giving us too much free things, but we are not looking at that. We are busy with making the money, and we all know that we have to left all the things over here. Just we are going to postpone our plan. Like I want to go to visit Europe, but I am just postponing that. No, no, later on we will go. We will go after 2 years. We will go 3 years, and we don't know what problem can occur at any time. So people are they are not. They are just uh, living in the either in the future or in the past.
Hmm.
They don't want to live in the present. Even they don't understand that why it's called present. They always either in a future they are planning for 2 to 3 years after I will do this, or they are in past.
Well,
That I felt.
thanks for that. And this reminds me of, again, you were gracious enough to offer meditation to the whole team. Um, and as we're talking about being present, I would love you if you would also like to do a small meditation for Mark and myself, and the audience may benefit for that as well. I enjoyed the first session, so if you want to take 4 or 5 minutes, or timeless, whatever time you want, there's no limit, so go for it.
No, we can start right now. So
Hmm.
this is for all those the audience those are listening. They can also do it right now. And of course, Mark and Christine, I would love to do it again for you.
Thank you.
Okay, so we will start. Just close your eyes and take a deep breath and relax your whole body. One more time, take deep breath in and relax body as much as you can. One more time. Every time as you exhale, relax your body as much as you can. One more time. Relax. One last time. Relax as much as you can. Now take a small breath and let it go out. And one more you take deep breath in and you exhale, you will see a beautiful river. When you're able to see, you just raise your hand. Very good. So, how's the river, Mark? With closed eyes, you can explain.
Explain how the river looks like.
Yeah.
It's full of colors and it's moving slowly.
Okay. How it's looking? You're feeling good?
Yeah, peaceful.
And Christine, how you are?
My river is a bit more turquoise. It's big
Yeah.
and it's wavy.
You are not having any fear of this, no?
No,
No. So see, this is the with closed eyes you can listen. That this is the beauty of my meditation. Even you are sitting in the room, but you can see all the color of river. What else you can see?
there's some
Ma
trees in the background.
I see some
okay,
little waves on the water, some ripples.
okay. So as we are talking about the peace, so I would like that you just again meet with your loved ones, to whom you love most. Are you able to see?
Mm-hmm.
Mark,
Mm-hmm.
you are
Yes.
able to see them. How you are feeling, Christian, now with your loved ones?
Very good.
Very good. So it will make you cool. If you are so angry, but still it will make you cool. Huh? That is the power of meditation. And Mark, how you are feeling?
Yeah, I'm feeling good.
I will give you the few minutes. You be with them and talk with them. And if you want to get any information, you can also take or anything you want to discuss. I will give you 1 minute pause for them. Now, this is the time, there's a generation of the hormones that make you happy because we are always happy when we met with our loved ones. And when you meet with them, you will lose the sense of time because you are so involved with those persons that you won't count the TikTok watch because you are so happy with them. That's the thing I told that if you are in the really meditative state, like you are right now, you are in that state, and this is the session is going live, so you can see the difference. It will make you so happy and so cool, so calmness with any trouble. You will come out from that if you are having any trouble. Mark, are you comfortable?
Yes.
Everything is going fine.
Yes.
You are enjoying this.
I am.
Okay, still you are riverside.
What was that?
Still, you are riverside
Yes, I
or
am.
some yeah. And still, you are also.
Yes, I'm having so much fun.
Oh, very great. I will give you one more thing in that. If you want to go any place, the place you like most, you can go with them there also. If you want to, you can go to that place. Now you know whatever feeling you are having right now in your mind, the the happiness, the calmness, the good feeling you are having right now. You are going to carry this thing for your whole week, or maybe uh, for the long time. You are going to carry this happiness. On my count of now, slowly you can open your eyes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, welcome.
Wonderful.
I have done this similar meditation before, but every time is different circumstances. Um, I remember the first time I was happy to see my loved one, and they were few close people. And when you asked to travel to a different place, I realized, I've traveled to 150 countries in the world, and I could imagine amazing places, but I wanted to just stay where I am in the present, in the same place, in the here and now. So that was kind of a
Yeah,
nice realization the first time. And this time it was different. There was much more people. I, I I realized maybe that I loved more people than I thought. I don't know if they love me, but I love them. I consider them my loved one. And I even
yeah,
had some colleagues of work at awe that were popping up in like the people I love, the family. Like it was like maybe a 60 people party of people that in my life, and
yes,
there was no animosity. Like we talked about conflict, some of the people in your life in different times have could have conflicts, or normally will have conflict if you know them more than x amount of years. But yeah, everything was really coherent, congruent, peaceful, loving, compassionate. So yeah, and then I did travel to a place this time, but it wasn't to a different country. It was uh, to a place familiar that just had more place in the river and more memories. So yeah, thank you for that experience.
thank you.
Thank you so much.
Mark,
Yeah, it was just peaceful. I was imagining my mom and a specific memory that I had with my mom, and it's always somebody that I bring up when I'm doing, I think, this type of metta meditation. I'm just loving kindness and expressing it towards my mom. So I felt very, very at peace. It was very nice.
So thank you so much, and Dr. Manish. First, we talked about this, but then we lived it, right? So it's embodied, and hopefully, some of the listeners have also experienced that with us, with you. Thank you for being our guide today. And it really, what we talked about, like the sense of time, the study showed it, but
yeah,
I could have stayed. I want to go back to that place and then forget the rest of my days. If anyone has meetings with me today, like forget it. I'm gonna go back to that place. Um, so time is a different thing. Um, yeah, thank you for that. And where do people that want to experience this or different type of meditation can reach you?
Yeah, definitely. They can approach me if they want this kind of experience. And it really change your whole perspective.
Thank you. So you
Change
have a
your,
website or you're on LinkedIn. What's the best way to reach you if people want to get in touch with you?
yeah, LinkedIn, I have the same account with the name of Dr. Manish Bhardwaj. And my website is there, www.healthisbody.com. And you can mail me also, like www.healthisbodynow@gmail.com.
Thanks so much to give that information, to share that awareness to this organization people. Um, Less than 1,000, we agreed. But if you need help, call us. We'll do the next 1,000.
Yeah,
Again, you can also, of course, reach us on a regular podcast. We'll have guests next Friday after my conference. Hopefully, I won't be too dead, but I will do Dr. Manish's meditation before, so I'll be fresh and happy. Um, stay tuned for more awesome
anytime.
content next week. We do have also our website, www.awewellness.org. We do have our digital reset on Patreon and on our website, and we can create specific meditation for your organization and for your school. And we really think that bringing the age of exposure and experience and practice with the guide of meditation should not be adulthood. We talked about religion, so people will bring kids to get baptized and go to church and all this at a very young age. And we won't say if that's good or bad. That's for the parents or the society or the kid to decide. But I do suggest that more youth should have this experience at a younger age and be able to tap
Yeah,
into that. And like I maybe people saw like I was smiling throughout the meditation. When I used to go to church when I was a kid, I wasn't really smiling like that. Just saying. But some other people and things can be joyful. But just to have those moments, and it doesn't have to be in a temple, in a church, in a school. Like those things, as you mentioned, can be done across the world. Are not clinical. You don't have to be a doctor, but you do know what you need to know about this thing. And thank you for showing us that medicine is great and meditation has tremendous, almost infinite potential and value.
yeah.
Any closing thoughts,
Thank you
Mark?
so much. No, just thank you so much for joining us again, and it was a pleasure.
And me too. Thank you
Keep
so
in
much
touch.
for this wonderful evening.
Yeah, thank you so much. People, if you're watching live or after that, feel free to reach out. Feel free to leave comments. Did you like this episode? Did you do the meditation? How did you feel if you did? Did you do it in family? Did you do it with your coworkers? Who did you imagine? How was the color of the river? Feel free to comment. We'd love to hear some feedback. We're doing this to you, for you, not to you. That's forcing people to do meditation, right? So we're not doing that. We agreed, but we're doing this for you. So we'd love your feedback. We're really trying to raise awareness on all those important wellness topics. And that was a great episode. I think people saw I was smiling most of the episode. Um, love the subject. Love your wisdom. Love what you're doing across the world, and have a great evening and weekend in Jaipur. For those who are in Canada, have a great May long weekend, and try to fit in some meditation if you can. And if you need a guide, you have people now to help you. Have a great day, everyone.
Thank you so much. Bye bye.
Thank you. Thank you, Krishna.